Hello, this is Lewis Michael.
And this is Gabrielle Christensen, your co-host.
And welcome to the podcast. Welcome back to another Geeking Around Lite. I'm Lewis Michael.
And I'm Gabrielle Christensen. It's good to have you back. We're excited to have this new supplement to the podcast going on for you guys. And hopefully you enjoy these little breakdowns of interesting news snippets we find just throughout the month.
Make sure to like and subscribe and check out the links for cool stuff like the webcomic and the online clothing store.
It's pretty awesome. We have t-shirts with the chibi versions of ourselves on them, so it's all pretty cool.
And make sure to go and check out the last webcomic, the Geeking Around webcomic. The episode is where Gabby shows off all excellent drawing skills.
They are the best. I am a master artist. I can make $500 on eBay easy, probably.
Which is actually, all those stories for the webcomics are actually based on real life stuff. And I think this latest episode is probably the most truest, realist to the story. You have to check it out.
Definitely. So, speaking of comics, the April 2021 NPD book scans top 20 adult graphic novels are all manga. It is interesting that it's adult manga, or adult graphic novels, even though My Hero Academia, I wouldn't really say that that's marketed towards adults. That seems to be more of just your shonen, your young boy manga. I guess not young boy, but preteen. I mean, adults can enjoy it too, but it's not something that I would consider an adult graphic novel.
I mean, I only seen the fall season of the anime, and I didn't really see anything that little kids couldn't watch it, you know?
Yeah, it definitely, like Demon Slayer, that's also young adult, I would say. Attack on Titan is more of an adult novel, and Jujutsu Kaisen, that's, it's more in the range of Dragon Ball Z, but still not anything I'd say that is, this is for mature audiences with a lot of blood and guts and gore and stuff.
But if you're watching the YouTube version, the video version, you can see here how this is the top 20, and it's all manga.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's all different volumes of like My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer and stuff.
Jujutsu Kaisen. I've never seen Chainsaw Man or read Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it, but haven't really looked into it or much. If you don't mind, would you read off the list?
Sure thing. So coming in number 1 is My Hero Academia, volume number 27. Number 2 is Chainsaw Man, volume number 4. Number 3, Jujutsu Kaisen, volume number 9. Number 4, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, volume 1. Number 5, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, volume 2. Number 6, Chainsaw Man, volume 2. Number 7, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, volume number 21. Number 8, Attack on Titan, volume number 1. Number 9, My Hero Academia, volume number 2. Number 10, Spy Times Family, volume number 1. Number 11, Jujutsu Kaisen, volume 1. Number 12, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, volume 3. 13, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, volume 8. 14, Jujutsu Kaisen, volume 7. 15, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, volume 4. Number 16, Tokyo Ghoul, volume 1. Number 17, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, volume 9. Number 18, My Hero Academia, volume 26. Number 19, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, volume 7. And number 20, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, volume 10. It is interesting how many of these aren't just like, because a lot of times if you're coming out with the latest chapter in something or latest volume in something, someone will go back and get the first edition. But there's a lot of like random older volumes in here that are kind of in the middle of the story.
Yeah, kind of go back and forth and stuff. But yeah, it's very interesting that none of this is Western comics. No Batman, no Superman or anything. And I was looking at last year's list, and there was a few Western comics, things I never even heard of, and I ain't quite sure why it was even on the damn list. Dogman. Yeah, don't know what the hell Dogman is, and it didn't look like, like Chainsaw Man. He has a chainsaw for a head. It was a pretty self-explanatory, and I could be looking at the wrong picture, but Dogman looked like something out of like Steven Universe or something like that.
Oh,
like the
yeah.
cartoon. So I'm like, I don't remember seeing any Dogman or anything, so I don't know what it was. And I think there was one other Western comic, and the rest was all the exact same thing pretty much. And Demonslayer, My Hero Academia and stuff, and it's very interesting.
It is. And I guess this is coming from the breakdown from people buying it from this particular site, right? For charts of April 21, graphic sales from MPD, Bookscan. Is it going from worldwide, or is this just the United States?
Well, it might be just the United States, but it's come from different websites and different shops, bookshops and stuff. So it's not from just the one place. I thought they said where it was coming from. What did it get? No, I'm not seeing it now, but yeah, they now you're on 16,000 different location.
Yeah, it says e-tailers. That's
e-tailers.
I think that's supposed to say retailers. It does read
Merchandise.
strangely. Mass merchandisers, independent bookstores, and more. MPD Bookscan covers approximately 85% of the U.S. trade print book market. The ranks on this chart are based on piece sales. Some publishers classify titles that are primarily text or art books or graphic novels. We removed those titles from the ranking above. So, but it does look like that's the U.S. And that's interesting too, if that is saying that this is the sales for just the United States and this isn't including like sales in Japan.
Yeah, but if you ask all the Western comic book artists and stuff, like, oh no, comic books are doing just fine. Apparently not, when they're not even in the top 20. And last year they wasn't really in either, other than Dogman. I don't know. That sounds like one of those like New York bestseller bullshit things. Cause like the thing what they do, cause like Disney kind of did this with a lot of those shit. They just buy it, they print out and then buy it back, and then you get all those thousands, 1 million sales was the ones buying. So you get on the New York bestseller list.
Yeah.
So as long as you got money, you can do whatever the hell you want.
A lot of people get kind of in hot water for doing that. There's a lot of New York Times bestsellers that's how to do it.
Yeah.
I would say the reasoning as to why a lot of manga ends up on there and not necessarily comic books is because you can only tell a story so many ways, but it's technically a new story. It's not Batman.
Yeah.
Again,
Batman been out for almost 100 years, really.
Yeah, it's the
Superman.
It's not the constant retelling of the story you literally heard over and over again, or someone going back through and being like, well, let's put a new spin on things. And it's like, no, make a new story to put a new spin on things. I mean, that's kind of what My Hero Academia is. It's a guy who loved Western comic books and wanted to do a Japanese take on it. So that's what everything was. He really loved Spider-Man. That was his thing. But it's telling then that he's dominating the Western market with a Japanese take on Western comic book heroes.
I think a lot of it's too, and there's multiple reasons, because I went to a comic book store not too long ago, and it's in a big city, so it's not like they had to, jack up prices because they're in a small town to get the profit back. It's in a big city, St. Louis. I only bought 2 comics, and that was almost $20 right there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they was graphic novels where you have, like 20 chapters or whatever. It was just the one issue number 1 or issue number 2. I can't remember what the issues was, but it was just 30 pages. From all these volumes, they are like 300 pages, and they all probably like $10 at the most.
Yeah.
the few I bought was somewhere in between $5 to $10.
It's kind of the undying beast of the machine that when you have lower sales, you try to make up your profit by increasing your price on your product, and then that ends up causing your sales to drop further, which makes you want to raise your price again more to try to keep up, and you just don't get anywhere.
And the thing about comic books is that we work in this industry. Well, I don't anymore, but I did, and I can tell you right now, it does not cost nothing. It costs next to nothing to print comic books.
Yeah, especially when they do a large order, like they would be. You'd be looking at maybe a penny a piece or something.
And if you're charging over $5 on it, I mean you making bank on that. The thing is, no one buying it.
Because really, the way you, especially when you're a larger brand, you make up a lot of your money through merchandising. You sell your comic, but then you also have people buying merchandise and
the posters and action figures and
T-shirts.
Stuff. And one other thing, like a lot of Western comics, DC and stuff, they all like, oh well, no one buy prints. Well, all of these are actually print versions. I think that it said down here, wasn't it?
Yeah, on print books.
Crave print.
Weekly point of sale data on print books. So I'm assuming when it says print books, that is what that means. Because even if it's on e-tailer, that doesn't mean that you're not actually purchasing the book. You're just purchasing it on like Amazon.
Yeah, and
having it shipped to you.
Yeah, people are still reading stuff, buying the printed version. And here's another reason why I think manga is doing so much better is because Japan don't give a fuck about this woke bullshit. There's stories where they have like a strong independent woman, but they not throwing it in your face and making that the main, how Captain Marvel, like, oh well, I'm a woman so I'm better than you, that's the whole thing where like Wonder Woman and the Snyder cut was 1,000 times better than what it was in the Joss Whedon cut, even though he was trying to make her, more feminist and stuff, And
that's the problem.
She was more of a badass because Zack Snyder just went back to the actual comics, so she was already a badass. You didn't have to make her a badass. You know what I mean?
You didn't have to sit there and say, hey, she's a woman. So that makes her... Because the thing that they like to do is they like to take a woman and then they like to tell you about how difficult her life is, but not in like the, Batman, everyone died around him and now he's sad and alone kind of way, but like, look at how difficult her life is because look at all these men around her who are making her feel bad for being a woman. And then making her feel bad about it and then later having like a flip of personality and suddenly becoming strong. It's like, no, Wonder Woman would have never put up with that. Ever. She never had a reason to. But yeah, it's a
new report not too long ago about how Japan doesn't want like any more Disney movies and stuff because how woke everything has gotten, or really American movies anymore because how woke it is. I think that contributes a lot of this. Look at the Kanye Reed's comic. That did quite well. Yeah.
Or one of the Western comics I remember getting that did star a bunch of women, but it was manga style. It was like cheerleaders are the vampires, and then some kind of paranormal investigation, and it was a story that was combined. I really enjoyed that story. And that had women in it. It was pretty much just comic book about women, but it was done well.
Yeah, as long as it's done well, it's that's what we always talk, going back to like Wonder Woman, the movie, the difference between Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel. You didn't have Gal Gadot going out there and saying, oh, well, I don't want white men to watch my movie. It's like, no one cared about that. She didn't care about that. She just wanted everyone else to enjoy the movie.
And if you're going to talk about someone who could be a feminist, that would be because your Amazons were your original feminist. I mean, literally, that's what that society was back in the day. Yeah. In Greek history, because it was just the women who were like, it would be cool if we didn't have to be slaves to our husbands. But they made a good movie about it. That wasn't, we don't want men to watch it. We don't want white men to watch it.
Yeah, this is just very interesting to me that all of it is manga. One thing I want to point out too, like the hot popularities right now, half of these are.
Oh my god, there's Dogman.
Yeah, there's that Dogman.
What the hell is Dogman? I don't think it actually took you to Dogman, did it?
Yeah, there it is.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh,
Okay,
that's
so this top kids graphic novels.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but this was something different than what I was seeing when I saw the YouTube video that I saw about this whole thing. Yeah, it seemed like Dogman was number one.
It does. Although Cat Kid tried to fight him.
But yeah, half of these are animes and manga stuff. That's pretty cool.
It is. Dungeons and Dragons should do better. I bet if Magic had a comic book series. Does Magic have a comic book series?
I'm sure it does. There's something new that it came out with, so that's probably why it's trending right now. There's something coming out.
Oh yeah. It's always, Magic's always coming out with a new.
And
Yeah. I think I used to play Magic. I used to spend all my money on Magic the Gathering cards. So that was always, I'm pretty sure like every month religiously there was a new drop. A new holiday. I think every 3 months there was a new holiday deck.
I got into Magic when I was getting into all the other stuff on Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And what's the difference?
Magic's for adults.
I was like 10, so and I was still beating everyone. So I'm like, oh, this is not fun. Going back to Blake Billiards. Yep, well, that's it. Make sure you like and subscribe and share with your friends and stuff. Other podcasts and or Geek Around Light.
Comment below. Pretty responsive sometimes on comments. So definitely at least on the web novel. We both get on there every once in a while and talk. So, alright. You guys have a good night or day or wherever you're at. Stay safe. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.